What is up, EC? Oh man, for those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Sam. I've been coming to EC for 2 years now, and I serve in EC worship as well as EC groups. Growing up, I was your average brown Christian boy. I grew up in Northeast Calgary, where they have some of the best food, the craziest drivers, and the most interesting people. But 4 years ago, I went through some of the deepest and darkest seasons of my life. I remember being locked in my room for days, for months, not wanting to come out, except for food. I lost some of the closest friendships in my life and a relationship that broke me apart. I struggled so much with anxiety and depression that I went into academic probation at my university. There was even a point in my life where my family had to rush me to the hospital, and they were so worried about me. But in this season, I was able to know that God truly loved and He cared for me. Let's turn our Bibles to 1 Peter chapter 5, verses 6 to 7. It says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that He may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxieties on Him, because He cares for you." Isn't it interesting that Peter, who is writing this, was a fisherman? And he would cast these giant nets over the boat to catch fish. And once he would cast it, he would not look back, he would not wiggle it, he would not jiggle it, he would not tug on it. He would just sit there and wait. And sometimes for us as humans, it is so hard to let go and let God. We hear this term many times, but it is so difficult. And Peter is saying, cast all your anxieties, all your worries, all your depression, all your flaws on God. But we end up letting it come back into our lives, and it begins to rob our peace. According to the National Science Foundation, an average person has between 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. Of those thoughts, 80% are negative, and 95% of those thoughts are repetitive. Now, those are some big stats. That means majority of our human lives are wasted in this illusion that we are not good enough, that we are stranded on our own and there's nobody to carry our load. You see, I was in the deepest and darkest seasons of my life, and that's when I cried out to God. I said, God, you take control of my life. And you know what I did? I cannot believe that I'm standing in front of you here today. God helped me finish my university degree last month. God helped me, God helped me find a job in my field. He provided for me. God helped me get plugged into a community of believers that encouraged me and lifted me up. And you may be thinking, man, I know, Sam, I'm worried. I'm stuck in these cycles of thoughts, but it's not going away. I'm scared. I'm depressed. I don't know what to do. Some of you guys have not slept for nights thinking about tomorrow. Some of you guys are looking for remedies, for solutions in drug, alcohol, sex, pornography. But let me tell you that there is a greater solution. Let's rewind. What does it say in the beginning of this verse? It says, humble yourselves under God's mighty hands. Wait. Yo, what? Humble yourselves. That means let go of all your pride, all your efforts, and humbly come and sit before the presence of God. Say, God, you take control over my life. Let your will be done and not mine. God, I need you in my life. And let me tell you this evening that our God is a God that has been in your tomorrows before you even got there. He knows your struggles. He knows your worries. But if we don't make it a priority in our lives to communicate that with Him, we end up carrying a load that we were never meant to carry in the first place. And I know sometimes it may feel that we are praying in the silence, that it's quiet and there's nothing there. But let me assure you that God is real. He is listening. He is hearing. He is working in the supernatural. Jesus says, come to me all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. So church, let's set our standard this morning. Before we walk out that door saying, God, I will cast my anxieties on you. I will cast my depression on you, whatever it is. God, you care for me. Thank you.